Welcome to today's interview. We're going to speak about thankfulness, and my guest today is Berislav Bozanovic, the founder and CEO of Lingua Pax Language School. So let me begin the principle with the principle number 8. It says, your life is a gift, and your presence in this world has got a purpose. Appreciate every morning, simply be and create, be thankful. You've chosen this principle, and my first question is, when did you find out this quality inside of you?
It is actually not discovered I had it. It was actually the lack of it and the need to have it was that I discovered. In fact, I have discovered that everything starts with emotion. And there was this funny proverb on the wall of the place where we visited today that quotes the same thing, saying that life motivation comes from the heart and the longings that we have and we want to see fulfilled. So the emotion is what drives us to action. It is not our rational part. Very often the consciousness of what we're supposed to do, but what we want to do, it feel right to do. So being thankful is actually the only of the 9 principles that cooperates with the emotion, cooperates with the heart directly. Mm-hmm. Everything else is a rational and so to say a reverse communication between the brain and the heart. It is the brain that tells the heart how it can be changed, and here we communicate directly with the heart. So I believe that it is really necessary in every individual, independently of whether you are alone, business person, live in a happy partnership, the appreciation and thankfulness for life as a gift and for the beauty that surrounds us, for all the things that we receive usually for granted because we were born, we inherited them all, should not be taken like that way. Thankfulness actually makes you feel happy because this is what has you already feel the accomplishment without accomplishing anything. So I hope you'll agree that the peace and balance as a starting point is a very good one.
Oh, absolutely. So when you look back in your life, was there any situation in which you just realized that, wow, this is the way to go, and you resolved the situation that seemed to be sort of like difficult thanks to being thankful? So instead of maybe going into blaming someone for something, you have chosen the road with thanking the person for maybe remind you of something.
Yes, this is in fact the only way to resolve relationships with other people, no matter how miserable you may feel. Feeling guilty or feeling angry with other people does not help and only deepens the conflict and deepens the wounds that you may have created on purpose or not. So it was out of misery that I understood that I needed to use a complete other language, because the one that I was using, I was trained to use, was absolutely wrong.
Okay. Thank you very much. So the language of peace that your school symbolizes or is the language of gratitude, language of accomplishment, language of thankfulness. So when we all look around, we would really like to spread this message that people, come on, be more thankful. So how could you help people who would like to develop this gratitude more? What is your recipe? Are there any sub-principles for the principle of being thankful?
Yes, there's a very simple principle for that, and it is called, I know it may sound like everybody says that, but if you take these words with meaning and with the holiness that it really contains, it is love. I think thankfulness is a very, very important fuel for love. And love, as you know, excludes intolerance, excludes conditioning, excludes differentiation, and includes and involves acceptance and tolerance and listening and trying to understand and trying to invest your best into your own soul to get as close as you can to other people. And once you understand they are doing their best, you can't be angry with them, you can't have conflicts with them. This is our everyday limitations that we really need to address every day. It is not something you learn and then you know.
Thank you. So sub principle of thankfulness is love.
Mm.
So I don't know whether it's not the principle and thankfulness would be the sub principle, but I've placed the principle number 8, thankfulness, as the principle number 8 in the 9th Learn and Meet principles. If you could, would you place it somewhere else, in a different place?
Well, I think the order of the principles is not extremely important, but personally I would put it in the first place, because everything else goes from there, from the emotional readiness and willingness and craving to get to a goal. It is the emotional thing, and then you activate your neocortex to take over. But all the fuel comes from this emotional part. So I would find it a very important one. This is why I picked it.
Mm-hmm. Will you agree that it would be self-love before courage?
Self-love is very important. You can't love other people unless you love yourself. That's really, really important. And it is not easy. We all make mistakes. We are not very happy with ourselves. Many times we make wrong choices, we hurt other people, and we tend to hate ourselves instead of forgiving ourselves the way we are expected to forgive others. And it is a long way to go.
So is there anyone that inspires you
Oh yes.
to be more thankful?
Okay, I will say inspire is it is both human and divine, but I think it is more a divine characteristic. There is a certain fellow who showed how much he loved us for giving his life, for not blaming anyone, for not taking any repercussions or retaliations, to show us the idea of love, that this love is unconditioned and endless. And many people who understood really the idea in its entirety set the same example. And you can't believe how Mother Teresa was grateful. She would say, I'm grateful for the fact that I was able to save 5 people today. And there are many other. I'll give you just a couple of examples. I love a simple actor. His name is Keanu Reeves. I learned it from the press. I don't know if it is true, but he doesn't care about living in luxury. He's a very simple and a modest person, obviously happy and thankful for what he has. He is not trying to reach the state of perfection with the material means. And a very special and last one is the character of Herr Müller in Tom Hartman's book, The Prophet's Way. If you haven't read the book, please do, because you will see a lot of inspiration found by this man. It's very profound spiritual directions of development. And it all has something to do with your balance and the peace of soul.
That's very nice. So your recipe for people being happy in life is be thankful, and don't take things that you've got around you for granted, but appreciate. So thank you very much, Bero. I wish you all the best of luck, and I am so grateful and thankful for you being
So am
part
I.
of my journey, because it's really wonderful. So thank you once again.
Thanks, Jana.